Welcome to this week's online edition of News Weekly. My name's Luke.
And my name's Dan.
So, speaking of which, you're usually expecting a Jack to be here, but where is he? Daniel, do you know where Jack's gone?
I don't really know, but I heard something. He sent us a video earlier from, I think, New Zealand. He said because he
Wait,
heard
what?
of
Hold the phone. New Zealand.
New Zealand, because he heard of the lockdown and what happened on Thursday, he decided to go to New Zealand to do his lockdown so he could still go to Caffè Nero or Starbucks, wherever he fancied, and still sit inside.
So when he told me he was going to see family and friends, what he really meant is that he was going to fly abroad right before lockdown started. Well, that's just great, Jack.
Oh,
Here
yeah.
I thought, Jack himself, people, got a tan apparently in Glasgow, so God knows how he'll survive in New Zealand. So,
Yeah.
Anyway, news just in. Big upfront positive news, or just news in general. Joe Biden in the US has won the US election. On top of that, Kamala is the first female elected vice president to bring to the White House. And yeah, any other news, Daniel?
Yeah, so I'm going to have to bring the first little bit down an octave, an emotional octave. So a couple of, I think it was weeks ago, there was two lads on a bike and they sadly got hit off the bike. Was it by a bus or a car? Can't remember.
Yeah.
And one of them unfortunately died that day. And I think it was a couple of days ago, and the other kid sadly died. What's such a shame, and I just want to say to the family, if you're watching this and you know the family, then we just want to say, well, we're thinking about you, and yeah.
Mainly just huge condolences.
Yeah.
Because that can't be easy.
So let's move on to some happier kind of news. So have you got anything for us, Luke?
Indeed, I do. So, guys, you're all aware it's November, and to commemorate Remembrance Day, bear in mind we cannot celebrate or just, recognise it for what it traditionally is and meet up with everyone. The Freedom Flame Anthem has been performed by the Freedom Choir in Hull, and it's made up of 30 people from the choir who have all collabed together virtually online to sing the Freedom Flame Anthem. And I've given it a listen, and it is just an amazing performance. And I recommend you guys go listen to it. Really good.
Yeah, and what we'll actually do is we'll put it down in the description, the link, so you can go and listen to it if obviously we can find it and it's still up when this comes out on Wednesday, because what we do is we pre-record these now. So the next bit of news I've got is how people have come together in lockdown. Myself and my mum have been giving food parcels out to people. So other people that have been generous to buy a couple of bits or give us money or even just give us spare food. And we've been able to give them parcels out to families that need them. So I just feel that, like, just seeing it in lockdown, how people have just stepped up to help the community.
It's brilliant stuff right there, Daniel. It's important to keep helping as much as we can, especially with the elderly, because you never know. They might be fighting their own battles themselves and might just need the extra support. So, in other news, one school in Hull will be closing as from tomorrow, and that school is the Francis Askew Primary School, due to a rise in COVID cases over the past 48 hours. So just so it doesn't hit home enough, these cases are rising. So it's ever so more important to keep hand sanitising, wear your face masks around every store you walk into, or just any public space, really.
And
just
this is in Hull, isn't it?
Yes.
Sorry for interrupting you there, Luke. But it is in Hull, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, and by the way, just to let you know, like we've been saying on most of these, obviously this is getting recorded on Zoom. So if we do interrupt each other or there's a little bit of crackling or anything like that, it's because Zoom likes to lag and do weird things like that. So have you got anything else on that, Luke?
Not at the moment.
Not at the moment, right. So the next bit is, so where I live is Boothby Estate, and a couple of days before bonfire night, someone set fire to a bus shelter, basically right outside my house. And it was massive. It nearly caught in the trees. And there's been a couple of more. And I just want to say, like, what's the point in, like, damaging stuff. And I just want to say, if you see anyone doing this in your area, to report it and to keep yourself safe, because a little fire like that, how it started, got massive just from someone setting a firework off in a bus shelter.
All the more important to report these things because all we have now is essential travel, where it's from NHS staff that gets free bus travel now. So anyone that just needs to go see, well, either families or that one person, the support bubble, they need that travel. So don't be wrecking any bus stops, guys.
Yeah. So, and then my last thing that I've got for news is, so school meals are going to be provided during the Christmas holidays, thanks to, I'll see if I can get this right, it's Marcus Rashford, is that right?
Yes, it is. Marcus Rashford, yes.
The footballer, because obviously they had a bit of a dilemma with the government of decisions on that, and I think it was a whole thing of funding. So Mike, I can't say his name, but the footballer decided to do something and act on this to help the unfortunate kids out there during Christmas.
It's brilliant stuff right there from a football, which is one of the top earning careers of income at the moment these days.
Have you got anything else, Luke, on this News Weekly? Why don't we talk a little bit about lockdown 2 to maybe help, because last week on News Weekly we spoke about going in, so why don't we talk about being in lockdown, because we've been in, I think it's 4 days now.
Indeed, it's as announced from last Thursday, we've been announced we're going to a second lockdown, which everyone's currently aware because we are now sat in a lockdown, encourage everyone to stay at home. But surely, with the second lockdown, it is ever so more important to encourage the hand sanitising and the face masks because they have been scientifically proven to help against the spread of coronavirus.
Yeah, so while I'm on this, I'm checking our social medias because we haven't actually spoken about it in a couple of episodes. A lot been going on. So the Instagram has got 62 followers now. And I think that's a massive thing. And the stuff that we've been putting out, I think, is just great. The quality and how it's been coming out. Your photos for the thumbnails look amazing, Luke.
Thank you, Daniel.
I'll try and find one now. Here's one of Layla. I don't know if you can see this, guys, but there we go. Isn't that just great photography?
Just a nice little lampshade right next to it. Well, not even a lampshade, but just a light bulb, isn't it?
Yeah. Do you want to find the Facebook one? Why I check the YouTube. I think this is an important thing we can do, is just to let you all know what's going on in the social media area. Because it's an important part, I think, of us as a podcast is our social media following, because we put a lot of stuff on social media and a lot of stuff on our YouTube. So if you're not subscribed to the YouTube, go and subscribe, press the bell, so when we do bring a new video out, you can be notified. So we have now got 24 followers on YouTube, subscribers it's called. I always get them messed up. So if you haven't seen as well, the Halloween specials, they're out on YouTube. And if you haven't seen it as well, it's the FRCA Podcast Corner, What's Next? That came out last week. If you haven't seen that, that was me and Jack talking a little bit about tips, what we can do, and how to basically survive this lockdown. And there's 2 new videos out on there as well. What is FRCA Podcast Corner Q&A with Sam and the Simply Inspired with Ethan. They're really great. They was really good fun to record. They're the last 2 we recorded as well before lockdown. So I will go and advise to go and give them a watch. And I mean, them thumbnails, look at them, Luke. They look amazing.
I was just going to say,
they look amazing, bro.
It's going to be the opposite. Thank you. That right there is Sam. And that's the thumbnail of his Q&A. So if you want to find out more about him, just go check out the YouTube page or the video.
Yeah, that looks amazing, bro. How many followers have we got on there?
As a Facebook, we have,
I don't get Facebook.
it's not even
so
followers
you
now, but
can-
anyway, we have 136 likes on Facebook.
Wow. Is that
That's
what it
pretty
is
good.
now?
Yep.
I don't get Facebook, me, mate. No Facebook. I wanted to check the podcast, but I never really get the podcast at all. But we've been trying to put so much out going back into this lockdown. I think the big thing that we spoke about is to be not just stopping because we're going back into this lockdown, and to just be trying to put more and more new stuff so we don't just get bored. And there'll be a new, and we recorded a podcast tonight, the day when we recorded this, and we're recording this on Sunday. And the podcast came out really, really well. So that's already out because obviously we're on Wednesday now. And that's on the podcast. So that'll be down below as well. And obviously you can follow the Facebooks and Instagrams because the links are down below.
And as you can probably listen, guys, and as Daniel mentioned earlier, in fact, we are still adjusting to this digital way of working pretty much. So as we have just mentioned, we have no longer access to the unit due to restrictions on the lockdown. So we are doing our best to continue bringing content to you through the means of Zoom or recordings. So please keep tuned, and we'll have more coming your way ever so soon.
Yeah, so if you've got any ideas as well of anything we can do, podcast ideas, video ideas, just put it down below, or you can message us, and we will get back to you as soon as we see it. So I think we're going to wrap this News Weekly up. If you haven't got anything else to say, Luke?
I do not.
No. Okay. So quick thing, don't forget to follow us so you can stay
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe, and follow. Make sure you do follow us on our Facebooks and Instagrams. Not because we want followers, because then you can keep in touch with what's going on in the life of the podcast. So I've been Dan.
And I've been Luke.
And you've been watching News
Weekly.
You left me there. We've got to do that again. You ready? You ready? On 3. No one can see the first one, even so I'm still going to show it. Ready? 3, 2, 1. News Weekly.
You start coming in and then you just stopped and then went in again.
That's it. Right. Let's. So we're going to do this one more time, guys. This is just for the fun of you. Here we go. You can start, Luke, and I'll join in.
So I've been Luke.
And I've been Dan. And you've been watching
and listening to
News Weekly. Right, we're going to leave that there. See you next week. Don't forget to check out the podcast. Don't forget to subscribe and press the bell. And follow us on our Instagram and Facebook. See ya.